This article addresses the St. Thomas Christian churches and denominations that form the Nazarene people or St. Thomas Christians. The St. Thomas Christians are an ancient body of Christians from Kerala, India, who trace their origins to the evangelistic activity of Thomas the Apostle in the 1st century. They are also known as Nazarenes because they are followers of Jesus of Nazareth. The term Nazarene is still used by St. Thomas Christians in Kerala. They are also called Syrian Christians because of their use of Syriac, which is a dialect of Aramaic, in liturgy. They are also known as Malabar, Malankara Marthoma Nazarenes, because these Christians are from Kerala. That was also known as Malabar or Malankara. Their language is Malayalam, the language of Kerala. For the first 15 centuries, they had their own leaders to whom they were obedient and who were well respected by both the people and the rulers of the country. In AD 190, Pantarinus from Alexandria visited these Christians. He found that they were using the Gospel of Matthew in Hebrew language. Around AD 522, an Egyptian monk, Cosmas Indicoplistus, visited the Malabar coast. He mentions Christians in Malabar in his book Christian Topography. This shows that till the 6th century these Christians had been in close contact with Alexandria. The Tamil epic of Manimekalai, written between the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD of the Sangam literature era, mentions the St. Thomas Christian people by the name Essenes, referring to one of the early Jewish Christian sects within the Nazarenes called Essenes. In AD 883, Alfred the Great, King of Wessex, England, reportedly sent gifts to Marthoma Christians of India through Sielm, Bishop of Sherborne. Around AD 1292, Marco Polo, on his return journey from China, visited Kerala, mentions that the people are idolaters, though there are some Christians and Jews among them. It is believed that in AD 345, Christians from Edessa arrived in Kerala under the leadership of Thomas of Kanna, and in 825, another group joined them. They had their own bishops visiting them from Persia. Though the St. Thomas Christians welcomed them, these bishops had not made any effort to subjugate them. St. Thomas Christians remained as an independent group, and they got their bishops from Church of the East until the 16th century. St. Thomas Christians were greatly affected by the arrival of the Portuguese in 1498. The Portuguese attempted to bring the community under the auspices of Latin Rite Catholicism, resulting in permanent rifts in the community. Churches within St. Thomas Christian tradition: Assyrian Church of the East, the Chaldean Syrian Church, Eastern Catholic, the Syro-Malabar Catholic Church, the Syro-Malankara Catholic Church, Oriental Independent, the Malabar Independent Syrian Church, the Malankara Marthoma Syrian Church, Independent, the St. Thomas Evangelical Church of India, Oriental Orthodox, the Indian Orthodox Church, the Jacobite Syrian Christian Church. Their traditions go back to the 1st century Christian thought, and the 7.5 churches established by Thomas the Apostle during his mission in Malabar. These are at Kodungalore, Parivla, Palayor, Kokamangalam, Niranam, Nilakal, Kollam, and the Tiruvithamkoda in Kanyakumari district. Nazarene people. The Nazarenes are an ethnic people, and a single community. As a community with common cultural heritage and cultural tradition, they refer to themselves as Nazarenes. However, as a religious group, they refer to themselves as Marthoma Christianis, or in English as St. Thomas Christians, based on their religious tradition of Syriac Christianity. However, from a religious angle, the St. Thomas Christians of today belong to various denominations as a result of a series of developments including Portuguese persecution, reformative activities during the time of the British, doctrines and missionaries' ill influence, Patriarch Catholicos issue, St. Thomas Christian families who claim their descent from ancestors who were baptized by Apostle Thomas are found all over Kerala. St. Thomas Christians were classified into the social status system according to their professions, with special privileges for trade granted by the benevolent kings who ruled the area. After the 8th century, when Hindu kingdoms came to sway, Christians were expected to strictly abide by stringent rules pertaining to caste and religion. This became a matter of survival. This is why St. Thomas Christians had such a strong sense of caste and tradition, being the oldest order of Christianity in India. The archdeacon was the head of the church, and palaeogams were in charge of temporal affairs. They had a liturgy-centered life with days of fasting and abstinence. Their devotion to the Marthoma tradition was absolute. Their churches were modeled after Jewish synagogues. The church is neat and they keep it sweetly. There are maps but no seats. Instead of images, they have some useful writing from the Holy Book. In short, the St. Thomas Christians of Kerala have blended well with the ecclesiastical world of the Eastern churches and with the changing socio-cultural environment of their homeland. Thus, the Malabar Church was Hindu or Indian in culture, Christian in religion, and Judeo-Syriac Oriental in terms of origin and worship.